yesterday.
Ooh, okay.
We're in the eclipse season, guys, recording the eclipse season. The veil is thin. I went to get a late night snack in my little cabinet in my kitchen, but candidly, the lights were off because lights are annoying. And so I opened my little cabinet to get the snack, and I see out of the corner of my eye this like black shadowy figure coming down that was kind of big. So
Out of the snack cabinet.
I don't know if it was a cockroach or literally a shadowy figure, and my question is, would you prefer that that was a giant cockroach or a literal, like, eclipsey shadowy figure?
Shadowy figure.
Me too.
Shadowy figure.
Me
Yeah.
too. I
I
went to
can
my
just I can raise my right arm in the name of Christ. Get thee hence. But cockroaches don't care if you bring a blessing.
I went to my bed, I did not get the snack. I screamed and went to my bed and just was doing an intention that that was literally, like, a shadowy evil figure. I cannot.
I
I
hope it
don't
was just
know.
pure evil in my house, not a cockroach.
I could stage that out to your point. So yeah,
Yes.
that's my life right now. That's really it. It's just we're working with a cockroach possibly missing in the crib.
I'm really sorry that's happening to you. I have fear tears welling
So
in my
I'm
eyes.
sick. I am sick about it. And yeah, so that's that. Everyone,
Ugh.
welcome to Parallel Paths, a podcast where two humans share their lives and musings from the lens of authenticity, vulnerability, spirituality, and always hilarity. I'm your host, Kelsey, and I'm joined by the lovely Ashley.
Hi guys, welcome
Hello.
back.
Today we have a fun situation, and that is that we're gonna talk about song lyrics that we love and then just kinda gab about them. Fun fact about me is I once made an Instagram about called "Song Lyric Feelings" and just made in Canva little posts with song lyrics. I love song lyrics, and that's very dorky. But our main topic today is going to be karma, which I think will be fun to just kinda unpack and think about, discuss if it's, real or not in our worlds, but I'm excited. How about you, Ashley?
I'm very excited and I love that you said discussing karma and if it's real in our worlds or not because I went hard like philosophizing over this concept and I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but like what does this mean to me? And what part of this can be real for me that aligns with the rest of the way I view the world anyways.
Yeah, I
Can't
love it.
wait.
We're gonna have so much fun.
I'm I found song lyric feelings.
No, it's
I was
sick.
gonna ask you if it still existed, but I just found it, and I'm
I
so
I actually, as I said, that was like, I shouldn't because it's so embarrassing, but also not because
no,
we just
people will
talked
love
about
it.
failure and not that it failed, it's just dorky. And it's actually so sweet that me and all my very stressful life and world was getting on Canva. And by the
Uh,
way, I would post the lyrics and then I'd put it on the story and then put music on and find the exact spot. I really
it was
cared.
those lyrics.
Yeah, and I think my
Ugh,
followers were essentially Gen Z poet girls, and so I
mm,
felt that I was doing doing the good work.
yeah, you were.
So,
Do you
yeah,
think
I
it'll
don't
ever come back to life, or is this was a past
Mm.
thing you did, and it's fun to reminisce on?
I could see it. I'm not sure. I really ran out of time for song lyric feelings, and, now with a couple years removed from it, I actually do think it's so precious. So,
Mhm.
for a while, I was like, what am I doing? This is dumb. I just like this lyric right now, and I think it's so poignant, but
Mm,
seeing it out of context on a poorly done Canva post is not, like, the greatest thing, and then
yep,
now I'm thinking it is the greatest thing because I truly think song lyrics are modern poetry, and they're some of the most important things in my world, so, yeah,
yeah.
maybe.
So you
If you
feel the
guys
same about it. If you still feel the same about songs and lyrics, maybe it will.
Yeah, I feel even better than I did when I stopped doing it about how cute it is. It was like, I thought this was the coolest, cutest, most poignant thing, and then I thought it was the dumbest thing ever, and now I'm back to it's the cutest thing ever. Hence
It
the
was
game
really cute.
today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's,
'Kay.
let's have you start with your song there, or at least one of them. Do we both have 2?
I only brought 1.
Okay, I brought 2,
I
but I
have
love song
another
lyrics.
no, I'm just gonna bring 1.
Okay, cool. You
So,
start.
I'm gonna start with the caveat that these aren't necessarily my favorite song lyrics,
Right.
but it's from Matt Mason, and we've talked about him and how he's definitely a poet and writes poetically and very much up to interpretation. So I more so have yet to land on how I feel or what I think these lyrics mean or what they mean to me. So I'm curious your interpretation of them.
Okay. 'Kay.
Okay. So this is from the song The Hearse, and the lyrics are, I am the house that's built upon sand. I am the thought that you couldn't plan. What was it like to feel in love? I'm the escape to something that's worse. I am the shadow driving the hearse. I will never go backwards. I will never be free. I will never run faster. Will you sink down to me? In the wake of disaster, will you sink down to me?
Wow. First, tell me what they mean to you.
To me, it's like he's talking about love and he
Mhm.
feels he is so terrible and
Mhm.
I can't meet you where you are, but I love you so much and I'm asking you to be at my level. What really gets me is the I am the shadow driving the hearse. What's the shadow and what's the hearse? And that's the name of the whole song.
Yeah, that's there. We're there.
We're
I'm just
there.
smiling because it's so Scorpio. And I feel that maybe I talk about your Scorpio moon too much on this pod, but it's very right there.
Yeah.
It's hard to not.
Yeah, I bring her out a lot.
No, I think it's really cute that tragic kind of that this person seems to wanna just word vomit how terrible he is. It's a he, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
How terrible he is. It's like it's that impulse we all have to say, "Ooh, actually, I'm not lovable and I'm horrible and I'm ugly and nasty, and if you knew it, you would never choose me," and that's the deep, dark secret, and
Mm,
to me I don't know this person if he really is bad or not, but I think just like so many lyrics, it's so cool that they can mean whatever they're meant to
whatever.
mean to the listener. I
So
think
what does
that's
it mean to you?
well, I
Not
think
that?
that's what it means to me is, like,
Okay.
I think at least for me so, yeah, how I'm interpreting is that each person and if we're talking about me specifically, it's like, "Okay, I'm this polished person, I'm accomplished, I'm proud of who I am, I'm high integrity, blah, 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 but, I mean, if you got to know me, I'm so much more messed up, like, actually, I'm horrible, I'm the sand beneath the house foundation, I'm gonna mess everything up, don't,
Mm,
stay away," where
mm,
it's, like, terrifying and also so compelling and beautiful to meet someone and be like, "By the way, I'm ugly and messed up," and see if they'll stay. It's just like one of the great
that's
gifts of
really
life.
cute. Yeah.
What yeah, I mean, that's how I view it, but I'd have to listen to it.
I like that angle of he's just laying all his cards out there, not
Yeah.
like, I'm hurting you, but, like, here I am. Are
Yeah.
you okay? Are you okay with a
You
house
okay?
that's built upon sand?
Right?
We aight? Yeah. Um, the other line in here, he says it repeatedly a couple times, "What was it like to feel in love?" And that makes me wonder if this was a past love that died, and he's
Mm.
the shadow driving the hearse, like, who he was or some essence of him has died and is now just a shadow because he
Yeah.
wasn't good enough for the love, but that's even darker.
No, it's so poignant, or even if the person didn't die, just if the relationship ended and it's like, it
Right.
feels like a different timeline for them. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes with breakups, it's this reflection of an experience that feels like a wholly different universe, that there's no way this was this human consciousness in this body. There's no way. It
I
just can't be.
Does is that a universal thing? I have
I
definitely gotten out of a relationship where I was like, "What kind of fever dream was that 3 years?"
I sometimes suspect that it's a neurodivergent thing, the object permanence thing that neurodivergent people have. I
Mm.
kinda my toxic trait is I want my future partner to be neurodivergent so they can feel like their last relationships are in a different world, if it's just that.
That's funny.
I'll bury that. I've thought about that consciously before this moment.
Yep,
But maybe let us know in the comments if you're neurotypical. Have
and
you
how
had a
that is.
Yeah, have you had a breakup where it felt like the same life and universe? If so, that's crazy, and send me a video of what that feels like, basically.
Send me a video. Oh, so
It's like
good.
someone I don't know just on screen. It feels normal, like it was this life, Kelsey.
Very much it happened. I
Extremely
can
that.
well, let me think. I can think of some relationships where I'm like, "Yes, I was me." A different version of me, but still me, and it feels like a part of my life here, but then other ones where I'm like, I was, like, swooped out of reality, and maybe that has more to do with, like, self-abandonment.
Mm. Ooh, maybe I self-abandon every time.
Oh, no! Plus neurodivergence.
Yeah, and that object permanence
And
for
that.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting.
interesting. That was a cool one.
Okay, I'm so ready for yours.
Okay. So both of mine are from the same artist. Now, I asked Ashley in the past if she knows this artist. She said she wasn't super familiar, which is it's going to have to change after this.
Yes.
And it's Fiona Apple. Fiona Apple is an incredible lyricist. She's brilliant. She's also extremely sensitive, and she's very open in her lyrics about how just like garishly sensitive she is. Her heart is raw. It's a nerve ending that's exposed. I really love that she's a human that's so successful and so unique. And honestly, she's given it up, but she could have a bunch of power in this world. And she just uses her platform to be authentically sensitive and vulnerable and tender and raw instead of performing polished perfection. I love it. So a lot of her lyrics are super cool. These two stick out for various reasons, but I could one time I had a 3-hour drive, and then I put on Fiona Apple albums, and then every song that would pop on within the first second, I would tell myself as if I was telling a friend what my favorite lyrics of that song were, and I was like, "Man, I should get friends."
That's so
Okay,
cute.
so the first one is a song called "Relay," and it's on a recent album from 2020.
Okay.
And I'm gonna actually do a little piece of it and then go back to the earlier part. But the main piece that I like is evil is a relay sport where the one who's burned turns to pass the torch, which I love. So I'm gonna go
Oof.
back and read a little bit earlier from it, but we'll discuss, I
Uh,
promise. So it's kind of a weird cutoff. I just like the thoughts in this. So she says she's kind of speaking to like maybe a past lover. She says, I resent you presenting your life like a effing propaganda brochure. And I see that you keep trying to bait me, and I'd love to get up in your face, but I know if I hate you for hating me, I will have entered the endless race. Evil
mm.
is a relay sport where the one who's burned turns to pass the torch. And I'm like, "That's so smart!"
Oof, yeah. It's so true. It's a better way to say hurt people. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
she's like, "Well, if I'm" basically saying, "Well, if I'm glad that you read the torch part first, because I was like, 'Whoa, this could go so many different ways.'"
yeah, yeah,
But in her talking about the relationship, like, if I hate you back, then what am I doing but
yeah,
perpetuating hate? Also,
yeah.
LOL that she said, "You're a brochure."
So
I love that insult.
she's saying you're presenting your life like a propaganda brochure, which is such a
Yeah.
drag. That's why I went back to that exact spot because I can think of people in my life that are just the worst. Not the worst. I'm sorry, universe. You know, I try not to say anything
They're
like
the
that.
worst.
They're performing on social media. That is one of my number one things I dislike. And so it's so funny to see this epic woman just say, I resent you for presenting your life like a freaking propaganda brochure. Dude,
Yeah.
what?
Nice brochure.
Drag 'em.
That is mean. That is savagery.
Drag. After this, I'll probably send you like a billion Fiona Apple lyrics because there's
Amazing.
so many more dragging ones, but I went more with something that's super interesting. Okay, the other one is from. Oop, got to go through the pictures of my dog. So it's a song called Daredevil. I'm gonna do the same thing and talk a little bit about uh the main lyrics and then go back. So she says, "Oh, give me anything and I'll turn it into a gift. But don't let me ruin me. I may need a chaperone." Okay, and then let me go
I
back. This
relate to that a lot.
dude, I love it. I love it. And then I'm gonna go back just to showcase her lyricism. This isn't that this part is so poignant to me. I just like how she uses words. So she says, and it's getting back to the point of I'll turn anything into a gift. So she says, "Say I'm an airplane, and the gashes I got from my heartbreak make the slots in the flaps upon my wing, and I use them to give me lip." And she goes like, "Hip,
Mm,
hip for the lift, hip, hip for the drag. I want them all in my bag. Oh, give me anything, and I'll turn it into a gift." Then she says, "Don't let her ruin herself." But so she's saying like she's all messed up and broken and heartbroken, but she's an airplane, so she's gonna make it like make the plane fly.
yeah, it's gonna
Isn't
give me
that
lift
cool?
and drag, and it's all and I love that she says lift and drag, not just lift. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
using this only for good. Also, it hurts, but that's
Yeah.
part of the plane ride is the lift and the drag.
That's the other thing that I like about this lyric is so she says one of the most boss things you could say is, "Give me anything and I'll turn it into a gift." And so I think that's incredibly powerful. I know that of her. I know that of me. I resonate with that a lot. It's like people think that my little princess fairy life is reflective of princess fairy life, and I'm like, "Baby, it's a trauma Scorpio life that I've transformed into a princess fairy life somehow because that's just what my soul wanted to do." But when she says, "Oh, give me anything and I'll turn into a gift," then she says, "But don't let me ruin me. I may need a chaperone." It's just so humble and cool to
Yeah.
say this most epic thing and then be like, "But I could mess it all up too.
Yeah.
Whatever."
I interpreted that my interpretation for me and how I
Yeah, yeah.
relate to her and that is like I will analyze anything for so long that I pummel it into nothingness. Like,
Mm.
chaperone me and my mind, or I'll just go, 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 and I need to, like, pick me up and pull me out of my sandbox, please.
Mm. Isn't that cute? We
It's
need
so
chaperones.
cute.
I need a chaperone.
I
I
need
could
a
really
chaperone.
yeah.
That's why I
Um,
hired my dog to work for me. She's my chaperone. Oh,
Hi, baby.
oh, she's
Look at the
asleep down
ear.
there. And we got another one. Oh,
Wow.
2 chaperones today.
Gosh. Mine is so sleeping, we're not even gonna,
Oh, we don't even
change the
say
energy.
the O double L I E. Nope.
He's so good. He really is my chaperone. I was trying to explain that to someone recently, like, "Oh, you don't understand. That's my life force."
Yeah.
So, yeah, never mind. I do have a chaperone, and so does Ashley with the puppies.
With the puppies.
Congrats on that segment, Fiona Apple and the Death Hearse Shadow Dragger.
Matt Mason. Yup. Yup, yup, yup. The other
What
lyric I brought was also from him. That's so funny that we both,
we
like
love our
we had
people.
2 lyrics from the same person. Both poets. Maybe they should date.
Fiona Apple, she dated some high profile she was, like, really famous in the pop star world. Little fun fact about her, she got an award at an award show, and she basically accepted her award by giving a speech about how it was all stupid. Like, award
Amazing.
shows are stupid. Think about think about a single mom nurse at an ER doing all this, just busting their second job at night saving lives. They don't get an award at all. And then
Mm-mm.
these celebrities go get awards. It's so dumb. I
It's so dumb.
she got one and was like, "This is dumb."
Um,
Funny, and
not
now
is it Will Ferrell? Nope. Oh, who's the other really fun like Ace Ventura guy?
Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey. He's that way too. He's like, "This is so stupid."
Yeah, like, we're just giving ourselves awards.
There was one time he
Um,
was like, "This is all fake. You're fake. We are just a dream." And the lady
I
was like,
think I've seen
"Okay."
that clip, like, they're saying he's so conscious, which is sort
Yeah,
of true. But yeah, she's not gonna date anyone. She basically moved with a bunch of dogs, kind of reclusive somewhere, and then, she did come out with an album in 2020, and I think she was nominated for some Grammys, and she just wrote an open letter that she didn't wanna, like, be perceived, basically. She said she didn't
amazing,
want, like, comments about her and her body and herself and just in the public eye, so enjoy the music and shut up. I love it.
amazing.
I know.
I love her.
She rocks. That's a special interest. I'm sorry, guys.
A special interest. We love it. We love Fiona Apple, and I'm gonna start listening today,
Yeah,
yesterday.
great, great. Should we strong pivot to karma?
It's time for karma. It's time to talk about it.
I'm excited. Okay, I'll like lay the groundwork a little bit for karma since it's my topic.
Okay.
I I love thinking about karma as it
Ugh.
relates to, soul contracts and lessons and the things that I talk about the most, like,
Mm.
aside from dogs and energy. So yeah, so karma comes from a Sanskrit word that means action, or the root of it means action. And so
Oh,
karma, very globally, is a lot more objective and neutral than kind of the modern interpretation, right? So the modern interpretation of karma is like a bad person does something and then something bad happens to them. So we
right,
can get into how that might be not as comprehensive of a thought, and it's a kind of a disempowering thought in some ways when we see bad people succeeding all the time. Um,
right.
but it started a long time ago, meaning action, and like in the Hindu tradition, my understanding. And let me just huge disclaimer: I'm not an expert in karma and ancient traditions, and I don't know that Ashley is either. So if you're coming from like a historical PhD lesson on karma, you come for sure to the wrong place. Like,
You've come to the right place. Leave a comment and let us know.
yeah, yeah, and we're actually here talking about our dogs and, like, songs. So, no, but we can kinda have fun just talking about like, high level what we think about it and just exploring the idea. So, yeah,
So,
so
real quick, just to clarify, karma is action not being acted upon. Like it's
so
solo, one person's actions.
it's in action. I'll get to that. It's very much cause and effect in my understanding. So my understanding in like the classical Hindu interpretation in like the Gita is the soul incarnates, has experiences, it shapes some like pieces of karma and lessons, and like, okay, there's actions that are occurring, and then it reincarnates like after a life, and now it's accumulated some karma. So it's accumulated, the universe can see thing propensities and things that are happening in actions, and then it the karma
Whoa.
has accumulated, and then you reincarnate into certain birth circumstances. So you're going to be playing out this karma now in your next incarnation, and then you can kind of encounter and re-encounter people as well in these incarnations. But my understanding is like, okay, so you're a person that's like exploiting others in a life. The universe isn't saying bad punishment. It's saying, "Oh, you mess with exploitation, maybe next life you can be the exploited. You like exploitation, so try it out." You
Mm,
know, when we were kind of balancing out these ideas, or yeah, just all kinds of cause effect. Like you're rounding out your soul's knowledge, the karma's accumulating just data points. It's like, okay, you are continuously bringing in the action of being the victim. So we'll give you circumstances to play this out. You want to your energy is flowing straight to victimhood. Here you go. Let's play it out. And with people, and then I'll stop and get your initial thoughts. With other people, it's kind of like these roles too. It's like, so you felt comfortable to have this servant that's serving you. In the next life, you be the servant and they can be the master. So it's not, my understanding is even the Hindu tradition is more cause and effect than just action. It's just like the word was action. But again, think of it much more neutrally than good,
yeah.
bad, punishment, reward. I don't think that's the interpretation. Stopping
But
there,
that
initial
oh,
thought.
okay, we're gonna go so deep on this. I to me, hearing that, I'm like, so that's balance more than karma. Cause and effect doesn't necessarily like when we were using the example of like master slave. Those are more like balance than cause and effect. Cause and effect is like I plant a seed, I have a flower.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's confusing to me. And then action, when you bring action in, it's a whole nother layer. So, do you have thoughts on that, or should I give more context of where my brain went and then we multi-layer this? Beep.
We're so good at not swearing. No, keep going. I think this is interesting.
Okay, so I was thinking about karma in the way of that my mom brings it up, honestly. She's always
Go
like,
mom.
"Why
Show.
is this happening to me? Like, why is this person getting this good thing when she's an evil wench.
This
And
is exactly what
I'm
I want to talk about. Thank you, Shelley.
and I'm suffering. Like, why is that karma happening? And I'm like, we've kind of talked about past life stuff
Yeah.
and maybe, but that's just so hard to grapple with in a human sense. And so then I was thinking about, okay, what could be karma that I'm in charge of when life is like way too complex and random to bring in like a moral equation to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
totally.
so then I'm thinking about, okay, if it's this perpetuation of just a response of what is and it's very neutral, then maybe it's more about my own echo echo chamber of my response to what's happening. Some outside life event happens. Here's how I'm responding, and that's perpetuating X. Not the event, but how I'm responding or interpreting it. Just like a few weeks ago when Rail was on, like, and you and I were conversing about, well, you could really be bitter. You could really go
Yeah.
one way or the other. And
Because
he chose
fair.
love and light hard. And so
Yeah.
he's creating this different karma. So that's kind of the way or the thought process I got into these past couple days about it. Because if I believe, and I really think that this is just a self preservation thing, to be honest, if I believe that it's past life stuff, then I am hard on myself for
Yeah.
why did I experience X? Why have I gone through so much up to this point? I'm only 29 years old. Versus if I look at it through the lens of life happens and life is random and it's meant to be an experiment and a playground and I'm creating my own karma in my echo chamber, that like lands so much easier with me. And I don't even know that I necessarily believe that, but I'm like, I think I have to go there to get okay with it and to comprehend my tiny mind around it.
I have so many thoughts. Okay, first off, though, when you say life is random, what does that mean?
Like there was no way for me to know that my dad was going to go flying off a bridge and die one day randomly.
Right. Oh,
Like
so you're saying your
things just
experience of it.
happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, experiences that happen.
And when you say experiencing your karma in an echo chamber, you mean just how you feel in response to this randomness?
Correct.
Okay, okay, got it, got it. I'm there. So, I think when I'm saying it's more neutral, I'm not saying that our conscious awareness would feel it neutrally, right? I don't
Agreed.
think that it's neutral and so nothing feels hard or nothing feels good, but I do very much agree with your concept of the echo chamber or response. We are absolutely going to create our own reality moving forward and, in my opinion, accumulate more karma moving forward based on our
Yeah.
actions. And
Okay.
so
Based on our
I'm not
actions in response to?
our actions, yeah, in response to
Period.
whatever happens.
Yeah.
So think about if Rail wanted to self-victimize the rest of his life, everyone around him would think that's valid and
Mm.
support it. He would probably get affirmed for and coddled for self-victimizing. Like, if you didn't listen to that episode, you should go back and listen to it, guys, because it's a really compelling story of resilience and just total perspective. So he's signaling if he
It's called
in the
Making Molehills Out of Mountains. I
isn't that
just
a
wanted
cute name?
I loved
Ah,
it. I just
I
wanted to
thought of
give them
that
the
and I was like,
episode name so they could find it.
thank you. So yeah, I think Rail saying, I'm going to self victimize. This isn't fair. Wow, I must have been a jerk in a past life, blah, blah, blah. And having all these healer, codependent
Mm,
people claw in to affirm that archetype for him as a victim, blah, blah, blah. That's a karma he would be accumulating would be I like to be the victim. I this is what I vibrationally resonate with is the victim. See
mhm.
how bad? See, I have the worst story of anyone in this room. That's so bad. Instead, he goes, I called it in. This is a really bold contrast. I forgive the guy instantly. I'm using this experience with my body to be a vessel of love. and in fact resonate with total love.
Mm,
And what I want to share in this podcast is to be love and love each other and love yourselves and love me and love the world and love the trees. That is such a different karma accumulation. So I totally resonate with your concept of things are happening. My opinion is things are happening potentially from past life karma we've accumulated. But again, not to say you did something bad. A person could have been so evolved and showcased with all their karma and their propensities and decisions in a previous life that they're really, really capable of taking something bad and making it good and just want to keep playing with that concept to show and learn and evolve their soul to the, total ultimate responder of love to something challenging.
yeah,
That's, I don't like people making oversimplified assumptions about something bad, meaning you did something quote unquote bad in a
in a
past
past
life.
life.
We
Yeah.
can people have gotten away from it has to be one for one in this life and then just
Mhm.
make a really simplified, kind of silly assumption about your past life then and then use it to victimize or get an ego, right? Some people who are in huge positions of power in our world and are seeing and reaping success, some people might say, wow, in past lives, they've accumulated all this karma. They're so good. So they get this reward to be good, but their karma might be horrible. And actually they're playing out these horrible archetypes in these horrible circumstances. And maybe they have, external success in some way, but their being evil is karma to sit
Mhm.
and imagine sitting in a body and a soul and a mind. I guess I don't want to say soul because their higher self is probably so much more capable, but in their physical experience, just being ugly and evil. That's
Yeah,
one thing I wanna share
that's
with the
not
listeners
fun.
is when the thing that your mom said is what I hear most about karma from people that I work with that are angry at bad things happening to good people and good things happening to bad people. That's
Yeah.
frustrating as heck, like, that really stings, but it's just so much more complicated than that. Maybe they will have some terrible life, next that you could externally see as terrible, or maybe their karma is that they're living in a body that's evil and angry and awful to people. That doesn't sound fun at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that so going back a little bit to it's how we respond to these events. What is the balance then between this is just random and I'm going to choose what to do with it and like honoring that this is hard and heavy and changed me and I am bitter and I don't want to be, but here it is. Or or whatever it is. Like is that a part of karma, like not being able to fight that natural state of victimhood, I'll say, to extreme events? Or is that when we choose and are that's a creation point of karma?
Ooh, it's interesting. Me, I think so many things are so much more neutral as experiences and information. So even hearing the way you're phrasing it as if we're choosing, like if I'm bitter, so I'm choosing victimhood, I don't know that I would agree with that phrasing. I'm not
Um,
sure that experiencing bitterness in relation to something so challenging is victimhood. I think
mhm.
victimhood is, trying to, that's a whole archetype that we know when we see it for a sustained amount of
Right.
time.
That's more of an yeah, an archetype than pointed at an experience or how they feel about something.
I would even think if is sustained bitterness or grief around something horrible, that that's a totally appropriate present
Right.
moment response. I don't think our higher self wants to suppress our human experience of the breadth of emotions, and in beautiful karma in a dynamic with someone you might choose to incarnate together and experience the karma of the love that is associated with this grief or whatever. I'm just spitballing
Yeah.
here, but I feel again, I this is why people think I do so many psychedelics, 'cause I see things from such a higher perspective instantly with everything. So it's hard to think of most experiences as good or bad, even though they feel good or bad for sure. And that's why I'm saying to respond to something that feels really, really bad and high grief with bitterness and grief and duress for a while is a very valid and normal human response, and it's also
Mhm.
poignant and beautiful as a testament to love or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a death of someone, but yeah, I don't like, in other words, a quote unquote negative feeling is not, in my opinion, something that's accumulating karma. It's part of
Right.
the experience, and it's associated
That
with
is part of the randomness of life.
yeah,
So they're a little they're separate. Not
or you're
separate, but separate.
maybe, but maybe your higher self doesn't view them as separate. Views the grief as just a extremely poignant testament to love.
Mhm.
That's hard for me to think of bitterness as separate from love if it's in response to a separation from someone,
Mhm.
or a bitterness at, I don't know, something unfair at work could be a testament to love of your own self and your journey. I don't
Yeah.
see every emotion as necessarily good or bad or accumulating karma, but I do think when we get into an archetype that's just perpetuating to telling the universe over and over and over, I like this thing, and I get my ego gets a little something from being the victim or being disempowered or whatever it is, then I do think you start to accumulate karma where you're adding the density of this experience that you're
Yeah.
showcasing you like, because you keep just diving back into it when you have every chance to be empowered and choose something at kind of a higher vibration. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
I think what I hear you saying too is karma is very internal, and we
Yeah.
have externalized it and said they live a good life that I can see, and they're a
Yeah.
bad person that I can see, and
Yes.
I'm a good person that I can see, and I'm living a bad life that I can see, when really it's the inside of the apple, the Fiona apple. The it's
Oh my
the
gosh.
inside
Yeah.
the inside, not the skin of the fruit, and when we start looking at the skin of the fruit, that's a different ballgame, and yes, it's all connected because everything's connected, but that's more about we're on the playground of life and life is random,
Mhm.
and things happening to people is not necessarily a part of that karma, it's that inward sensation and feeling that when it becomes the archetype and perpetuation of their experience, not their external life, but they're, like you said, in a body that just feels icky and
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that interpretation because that's what if I could leave the listeners with nothing else is to not get all ruffled if something happens to someone that is just being awful, that's good. It's like,
Mhm.
who
They might not
it's
even be
like
enjoying it.
honestly, think about how many stories we hear of people it's almost that hungry ghost archetype. You get all these things and you just want more and you're not appreciating it. That's not fun. But I do think it's garbage. I mean, I'm a human. Let's get out of my high mind for 1 second. It's annoying as heck. It really is annoying. And
We've been
we're
so good at censoring
I know.
ourselves this episode.
I love yeah, like flipping. I had the
Oh,
F
that's
word in my
crazy as heck. Sorry.
as heck. On the record, guys, when we're talking in real life, we are swearing
We
like cool
are
girls.
cussers. We just want this to be family friendly.
Yeah, no, it's and I there's so much about karma that I don't understand. I'm not the expert at all. I've taken and shared what has resonated with me from my own meditation, from what I've heard channeled, from what I've read about and stuff, but it's hard to know without our higher mind what we've chosen because it seems so easy as a human. Why don't I just choose a very nice partner and tons of income and ease?
Yeah.
But it's the other thing I would like to make sure that we underscore to this audience is that there's so much more complication to what we wanna experience that from our higher self feels like expansion and growth and exciting. When we incarnate, it's like a blink of an eye. So you're off with your soul group, and then you make this plan, and you're gonna learn these lessons, and it's nothing. It's a quick blip, and you come back. So you we might have chosen
Crazy.
a really painful journey because it's interesting to expand our soul experience and round out our knowledge, and it's not a punishment for some terrible thing we did in a past life being evil. It's an experience our soul wanted to call in because it's no big deal. Like, it's
Yeah.
really
It's a blip
not.
in time and it's we want to experience contrast. Or
Yeah,
at least
right?
I do.
Yeah, see? Exactly. That's where I get to a place where I can very much fathom me on a soul level saying, "Let's do hard mode." I'm
Let's
prepared.
go hard.
I kn I could see my hubris on my soul level, not really hubris there, probably more neutral, but my confidence that I was going to remain heart-centered and help people, and it was gonna be cool, and it would be a cool little challenge, like a good little burpee challenge I do at the gym. Just that piece of me makes me feel so much better about how challenging my life has been. Like, I saw one of those phone, this album sends you 3 years ago today, 5 years ago
Yeah,
today, a
yeah,
picture, and 3 years ago today, I was driving to Austin from Chicago,
yeah.
and
Today?
Chicago, 3 years ago today, yeah, early March, I'm like, "Was there an eclipse that day?" I gotta check into that now, but I I felt I actually cried. I felt sad because the picture of me, I was grinning ear to ear, and not for this podcast, but I was leaving Chicago under duress. I was in a really challenging place in my life. I had this big dream and assumption that everything was gonna clear up instantly, and it was gonna be all these gifts were waiting for me as soon as I took this leap of faith and blah, 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 blah. And my life is beautiful, and it's also been a really hard 3 years, and stuff has blown up that I did not think would blow up, and painful, shadowy things have come up, and, there's so many things that did not go the way that girl thought with her little teeth
Big
out and
smile.
I was
No.
so, like, out of my mind naive. Anyway, what I reflect on was, wow, that's so sweet, that version of me had such naive hope, and life is so much harder than that, especially my life that I've called in on this soul level. And also, it doesn't mean that I think my last life was some evil
Mm.
villain. I see the way I push myself in this life to the ends of the earth in every aspect of my life, and I fundamentally believe my soul wanted to experience the challenge of being the person I wanna be without it being easeful. So, yeah, I don't
So it
want the
goes
audience to go ahead.
sorry. I know we're wrapping up, but I do have another question with this. So it goes into a soul contract adjacent, like us choosing these experiences. So if that is the case, do you feel like we are choosing karma for future lives too in this life? If we're operating under the assumption that past and future lives
Correct,
are for sure.
correct,
um,
correct.
yeah,
Huge, huge assumption.
huge assumption. Are we creating more choices and karma now, or is that something that our higher self gets to do and our little earth minds can't really fathom it, but are getting just some taste of karma, and so we've conceptualized this thing of, yes, we're a part of it.
My eyes got big when she asked that question for the audio listeners, because I love this question. I haven't thought of this question ever, and the question part that I'm gagged about is, does our higher self know what karma we're gonna accumulate? Uh So our higher self absolutely knows, and our spirit guides and stuff, if that's real, that's the assumption we're talking about.
We we got a lot
If
of
you got this far,
assumptions, we just hope you're locked in the same way we are.
sorry. Um, we absolutely, on a soul level, my understanding is that we know our propensities, and so we can construct a soul plan to play out some karmic things and heal some karma or complete some karma. Um, and as such, we would have an idea about what propensities we'd have to make certain decisions that might yield further karma accumulation.
Mhm.
So I would think you probably would know a little bit what might come up, but of course the goal would be, and my understanding about karma is at some point you incarnate enough times that you're accumulating less and less karma each life because you're so wise on a soul level that your propensity to do something stupid and accumulate karma that's going to have you come play that out again is is decreases. So yeah, I think if you're still in the thick of it, you would know you're probably going to keep messing something up.
Yeah,
Again, I think you can accumulate good karma too, though. That's
absolutely.
iconic.
Is karma is always not always, but often talked about in the sense of, like, they're gonna get their karma, or
Yeah.
karma came for me or whatever, but it's both, and it's neutral, and it's, like you said, bitterness breaks down to love, and it's the opposite effect and balance, like, it's all of the things all at once. Everything
And
everywhere all at once.
correct. Love that movie. Think about what you said about basically the presence of responding to whatever circumstance and that being the
Mhm.
karma you're creating. You're completely capable. We all are. Listeners, you are right now capable of creating beautiful karma in every response to everything, right? You're capable of finding or turning everything into a gift, honey. I got so excited for that. Wow, that's a cool synchronicity. I'm
Yeah, it
gassed.
is.
I
Yeah,
love
it
it.
is.
But we are more than capable of that. And in the very first instant is probably spiritual bypassing, but I run much closer on the spiritual bypassing spectrum than Ashley because I transmute stuff as quickly as possible, and maybe there's probably some room for more
And
grief.
I stay in it for way too long. We could have
We
a great baby.
There's a balance to be had, and I
Yeah,
love that we can both acknowledge that, but it's your response is creating your reality. That's just
yeah.
so true, and
Mhm.
I don't think Ashley if Ashley is living in grief for longer, I don't say that's good or bad, and I don't have a judgment on that because I think grief is a valuable, beautiful
What's
thing.
your experience of grief? Yeah, how do you feel about feeling grief?
Yeah,
Are
right?
you
Grief
are you
it
bummed about it, or are you like, "Ugh, I'm mourning this thing, like, how lucky for me that I have time and space to mourn this love," or whatever it
correct.
was?
Or even the beauty of having a love to mourn, all that
Yeah.
stuff. So, not to say that one or the other is good or bad, it's you're gonna create your environment, but if you really don't find the grief arc to be a poignant one after a certain time and you're choosing it, stop. Or if you wanna become more deep in your ability to feel, don't bypass right away and say that you just want fairy sunshine rainbow day because maybe you
Mhm.
want the poignant experience of living with the feeling of being having been connected to a human being that you don't want to forget about instantly. Also
Yeah.
call back to maybe I forget about all my relationships because I try so hard to transmute it. I mean,
Right?
possible. Sorry for feeling so deeply that I can't feel it anymore.
Yep.
Whatever.
It was too much. It was
I
too
have
much, and it was
a
beautiful.
question for you.
Yeah.
It's a hypothetical. We don't know. We don't know any of this stuff. Do you think people can accumulate so much karma that's dense, aka do bad things, that they de-evolve to become the cockroach in my house or something,
I love that idea. You remember
right?
when you said, "I like to think of people when they're getting their life review and they have to spend a little extra time seeing how they did me dirty and seeing it from my perspective."
Yep.
That's one of those things for me, like, I like to think that they have to be something icky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I I will not be surprised anyway when life ends and they're like, "Here's what it actually was. Surprise, you actually only had one life," or
Yeah.
"Surprise, you have thousands and millions." I'll be like, "Tight." Like, no part of me will be shocked at any outcome.
Me too. I feel strongly about a lot of my beliefs that I've thought about a lot and they resonate, but in no world am I attached to any of this stuff being real if God herself came to tell me I was wrong. Imagine being too tied to it, or even in this life, being too tied to anything is just weird in terms of being able to grow and expand.
It's
So
just weird.
some people think that I would never stop believing in astrology. I don't see that because I know a ton about it and it continues to slap. But I don't know.
I don't think I'll ever be Mormon again, but I try to never say never because as soon as I say
Totally.
never, I might fall right into it.
For real. But
Uh,
we can mess with, people turning into cockroaches, just not at my crib. Absolutely not.
Stay out the crib, though.
No, we'll stay at the crib for sure.
What
Trying
a
to think, I gotta
beautiful topic. Thank you for bringing that. I think
yeah.
my takeaway that I'm taking this week is to keep practicing depersonalizing karma, even though it is personal, and just understanding that, like, it's part of humanity. And my choice is really like, what do I want to do about it? And one of my favorite
Yeah.
questions from Dean Nixon, so what now what? Is there a takeaway that you have or that you want to share with listeners or challenge peepees
Not
or
really.
yourself on?
I think I've shared a lot of my takeaways, but I do really I love your takeaway. I really want the listeners to not get upset about karma as something that's a punishment or a reward. It's really the concept of let your present moment create your reality. That part of the
Oh,
spiritual
love it.
girly mindset. Let your present moment be whatever makes you feel good, and do that because you deserve it.
Do that.
We
I
love you.
love it.
Love you.
I
Thank you
love
all
it.
for joining in. Like, share, subscribe, comment.
Yes.
Let me know how to
Send
get
this
rid of
to your
cockroaches.
friends, send this to your mom, send this to your enemies, send this to your lovers, send this to your ex-lovers that you don't even think about.
That part. That part. They deserve it. Actually, even if they don't deserve it, like nothing
Send it
real.
anyway. It'll be good karma for them.
Love it. Love you
Bye.
guys.